So excited. It's our first prediction episode of the year. Let's get it.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson, that's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein, that's him. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. We'll talk about Game Time here in just a little bit. I want to thank you everydayers for being here every day. Thank you, newbies, for being here today. And thanks, everybody, for making this your first listen every single day. You guys are the best. Jimmy, first prediction show of the year. I'm so excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to start out. Look, I've already given my prediction for Alabama, Florida State. So I'll start with that and just say I'm going 34-17 Bama. I know Tim Keenan's out. Obviously, we've talked about that. I know Jaden Roberts, very limited if he plays at all. I know Jam Miller's out. I know James Smith's been banged up. I'm buying into the Kalen DeBoer second-year theory. He has improved greatly everywhere he's been in the second year. And this team has a swagger about it. This team has a quiet confidence about it that I absolutely love. I'm going Bama 34-17 because I've already announced it. So save your prediction for the very end of this segment, because now I want to go through just a few things. This is from our good friends over there at Winsipedia. Look, he's not paying us anything to say all this. I just love the website. And by the way, one of the founders of Winsipedia is a Bama grad. So go check it out. But all-time record, Alabama is second all-time at 134. Florida State is 13th out of 134. Does that shock you a little bit?
It shocks me that they're that high.
I think it's winning percentage, though. Yeah, that
might make more sense. I mean, they didn't really play football until well after everyone else. Then they weren't very good until now. I know it's 50 years of being good. It's like 50 years now being good.
Yeah.
And for a while, to be honest, during some of my childhood, my teen year, about 40, since 1982.
Yeah, but they had a bad lull in there too. Bobby Bowden, the end of Bobby Bowden was bad.
There was, and it wasn't good last year. But I during my teen years, when I was in middle school, high school, and in college at Alabama, Florida State was a preeminent program.
Oh, preeminent. Sorry, yeah. I thought you were talking about how old you were, like back in the 70s.
No, I would say like from when I was roughly 14 to 24 years old, which was really 84 to 94ish, somewhere in there. They were really good. Probably them in Miami, probably the preeminent programs in college football. Alabama was good during some of that time, but not like their consistency. So they were dominant then, but before 1980, they didn't win much and didn't really start playing football, I believe, until like the 50s or something. So I'm a little surprised they were that high, but you might be right about the winning percentage.
So how about this? And I'm not going to go through all these. I just think it's fun to do the comparison that you do on Winsipedia. Weeks at number one, Alabama's first all time with 141 weeks at number one. Should have been more because we shouldn't have lost to Vanderbilt last year, but I digress. Florida State is sixth all time at 72. Now they're essentially half of what Bama is, but that's a pretty good number for a team, like you said, that was a all-girls school for a long time, and then they get into football and it's Katie bar the door. So, but let's talk a little bit about individual predictions here.
Pretty good recruiting thing, by the way, if you think about it. Hey, we're an all-girls school, but we're thinking about starting a football team. What do you guys think?
That is great.
Like 5 years later, they're like national champions.
Yeah. I mean, I'd want to be on that first recruiting class before everybody gets in. I'd want to be there when I'm one of the picks of the litter, not after like year 6 when we got a lot more dudes there. But so I'm going to check and get some individual over-unders and let you talk about what you think is going to happen here. But I do want to say, what do you think about Ty Simpson and his over/under passing yardage?
Okay.
If I made it 250, if I made it 250,
under. Yeah.
I disagree.
You're going over 250.
Because okay, I'm going to put a caveat in there. If the rain comes down, like some people think the rain's going to come down, all bets are off. Okay.
Yeah, I was factoring in rain to a degree.
Let's tend like the weather is manageable.
Good.
Not
manageable.
Hurricane level, So God, that reminds me of I love the joke that Shane Gillis said, and this is not anything political. As Shane Gillis, a comedian, said this. I listen to him all the time. He was talking about it. He said, this was back when Trump lost the second election. He was like, I miss Donald Trump. He said, you know why? Because he just came in and said whatever he wanted to. You remember when Hurricane Dorian came in? He said, you guys want me to nuke it? And we were like, what? And he said, yeah, I don't know. Why not? Maybe we should nuke the Florida State Storm and see how that goes. But anyway, I just thought that was funny. So
I hope we don't get mail over you saying Trump lost that election.
First of all, if you don't factor in the rain, what'd you say?
So I hope we don't get mail over you saying Trump lost that election.
Oh God, you're right. I try. I mean, like, it's so funny. I just like to repeat some stuff comedians say so that I seem funny. I'm not making a political statement. I hope everybody understands that. But
it's hard to get away from it, which is absurd.
So if you're going to factor in the rain, then I'm going to factor in the absence of Jam Miller.
That's fair.
How about that? And if I'm going to factor in the absence of Jam Miller, then I think I have to say, okay, I think we're going to pass it a little more. I'm also going to say this. I think you'll agree. Our wide receiver room is better than our running back room.
Yes, it is. It is. Okay. I would even say substantially better.
So I wouldn't be surprised. See, I'm going to go over on passing, not so much because I believe we're going to throw it all over the yard all the time. I think we're going to do some pop passes. I think we're going to do some jet sweeps and some, things that count as passes, getting the ball in the hands of Ryan Williams and sort of acting like a running back, but it gets Ty Simpson yards,
Speaking of that, you know what I think we're going to see one time? Mark this down or make it a FanDuel prop bet. You know what I think we'll see at least once?
Yes.
At least once. Jalen Mbakwe lined up at running back. I think we're going to see that.
Why do you think that?
I just think that. Sometimes I dream stuff up. Sometimes maybe not a dream. But no, I think.
Let me ask this. Do you think we throw it to him?
Could be. I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it'd be anything from a straight downhill power play inside the tackles to more likely a toss sweep to some type of gadget play.
Ooh, what if he toss sweep Jalen Mbakwe, Clay?
Hey, this kid can throw the ball a little bit too now.
Clay Chalkville quarterback who won a state championship, Jalen Mbakwe. It's Mbakwe, right? Didn't we decide that?
On the Alabama official Alabama football roster, we're not making this up. Y'all go to the Alabama official roster that's online and go to Jalen Mbakwe's bio, and there's an official pronunciation. And on that official pronunciation, it says Mbakwe.
I know,
but even the other guys on the team say Mbakwe, and the coaches say Mbakwe.
I think they all say Bach at this point. Right?
Well, most everybody calls it Bach. Yeah, they do. But it does say Mbakwe on. So that's Alabama. That's not me. That's not, boy, Jimmy's butchering that. That's what Alabama says on the official roster. So take it up with them. But we all know who I'm talking about. So that's just a prediction I'll throw out there because I don't think a lot of people are expecting that. And I think we may see that.
But again, people who don't know this happened. Clay Chalkville played Saraland for the state championship in Tuscaloosa, by the way.
It's fantastic.
A few years ago. Jalen Mbakwe was the quarterback for Clay Chalkville. Now, let's also be honest, he wasn't exactly, Tua Tagovailoa back there. He was doing a lot of Jalen Mbakwe running around.
Right. He wasn't throwing for 250.
He was also, what he did this week? He imitated Thomas Castellanos for the scout team. So what I'm saying is that's sort of what he can do. So I would love for him to be back there. I think that is a wonderful prediction. Those are the kind of predictions we need to make more often because, the over-unders on passing yardage, everybody's going to do that. Jalen Mbakwe on the in the backfield, that's a Jimmy Stein guarantee.
I'm not going to go as far as I do with the Ruggiette guarantees. But I will say that I do think that there's a good possibility that happens. As far as ties over under, part of it's answering the question when I say under, but part of it's also what I want to see, what Jimmy wants to see as an Alabama fan. The numbers I'm looking at for tie myself on Saturday is efficiency and the interception number. I don't care as much about the sexy yardage number. Now, it might be there because Ty's got that kind of talent. Ty's got that kind of arm. I think they want to throw the ball a lot. I just kind of look at this as a little bit like a training wheels game and efficiency. How about Ty being something like 15 of 19? That excites me more than the 300-yard number, especially if there's a 0 in that interception column, because I think that's how Alabama wins the game. 15 of 19 for 200 yards and no interceptions. I think Alabama wins the game, because for Alabama not to win this game, I think Alabama's going to have to help Florida State, and the person that can most help Florida State is Ty.
So your prediction is?
34-17, same as Luke's. And I don't know that we've ever done that before. Have we ever had the same exact? I'm sure we've had. We've done this too many years not to have. We've done this
a lot of years.
I'm sure we've had the same, but it stands out to me because I don't think it's happened very often. But yeah, 34-17, kind of locked in on that about 10 days ago and haven't changed it since. That does cover, but I think it indicates exactly what this game will look like. A comfortable Alabama win where they're not sweating it out in the fourth quarter. And there's a lot of real impressive stuff because you scored 34 on the road in a Power 4 football game and beat a team that I think will finish 7-5 or 8-4. And you beat them solidly, but you didn't crush them because there's enough that goes wrong. There's enough that goes sideways. There's enough that Florida State does well to keep it from being some sort of an ugly looking blowout. But it's still a comfortable win that gives Alabama a lot to work on heading into week 2 in Monroe.
I'm going to give you 2 more reasons Alabama wins this game. Jeremiah Beeman's left thigh and right thigh.
He's knocking me out with those Birmingham thighs.
Look out, ACDC.
I wanted to say alabaster. You know, they say American thighs. I wanted to say alabaster, but he's not from there, so it wouldn't have made a lot of sense.
And Parker thighs. Isn't he Parker?
Parker, yeah, that's Birmingham. Right?
That doesn't really have a ring to it. Anyway, game time. College football is back. And I couldn't be more excited. The tailgates, the rivalries, the energy in the stands, there's just nothing like it, y'all. But let's be real. Actually getting tickets can feel like more of a battle than the game itself. Endless queues, hidden fees, prices jumping up at checkout. That's crazy talk. That's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with no surprise fees. What you see is what you pay. I pulled up Game Time just a few minutes ago just to see some other games, and you can get games for like $25. It's amazing. Go check it out. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege, all one word, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply because they apply to everything. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time app today. All right, let's talk a little SEC predictions here. A lot of interesting games. There is an SEC game tonight, at least one.
That's the Missouri 2 quarterback show. And if I may briefly, let me point this out about, and by the way, I sort of like Eli Drinkwitz. I sort of do. I don't love him, but I sort of like him. If you've got 2 guys and you're saying it's even, so I'm going to start one guy in the first half and the other guy in the second half, and we're playing Central Arkansas. Isn't that announcing that the guy starting the first half is your quarterback?
Yeah, that's not even.
Because the guy coming in the second half is coming into a game that's very likely to be 42-0. And are you going to run the real off? Or is against Central Arkansas or whoever the heck they're playing? Are you going to line up your backup quarterback and run the same offense you did, building your 42-0 halftime lead?
Yeah, that's stupid.
If you have a true, we're not sure who to go with, then change him out every series.
Yeah, I'm with you. But when people see this, the Missouri game will be over. So,
great point.
That's a good point.
And by the way, I thought all along Bo Pribula would be the quarterback. Sam Horn's an interesting story because of the baseball stuff and getting drafted by the Dodgers, and initially saying, "Hey, I'm going to play for the Dodgers," and then Missouri talks him back. And he's a good prospect and all, but I've always thought Bo Pribula would win that job.
I still say Bo Pribula sounds like something I learned about in biology class. Like it's over there near the medulla oblongata, the Bo Pribula.
It sounds like a Star Trek episode. Like, what was your favorite Star Trek
I did
episode?
that. Didn't we talk?
Bo
I said that
Pribula
the other day, didn't I?
Did you?
Didn't I say? I said something about the Klingons and the.
Did you? I don't remember you saying that because if you
did,
no,
maybe it was on a Sports Split show. I said Bo Pribula sounds like a star from Battlestar Galactica. You're trying to get away from the Klingons, and my co-host said that's not where the Klingons were. I'm like, whatever. So, okay, going to Friday, and we'll just sort of take these in order. Auburn, Baylor. Jimmy, I'm going to tell you something. Everything about me thinks this is going to be an Auburn blowout.
Auburn blowout.
Yes.
Wow. That's like, to me, of the four possible outcomes, the least likely. Okay.
Everything about me screams that. And it's probably because I'm surrounded by Aubs everywhere I go around.
You have Auburn derangement syndrome.
I have Auburn derangement syndrome. And I'm going to tell you something. Like, the Aubs that do shows with me around here, they are so confident. Jimmy, I watch their shows and I'm like, it seems irrational how confident they are. I mean, they're talking playoffs. They're talking like.
Are they still talking playing all three quarterbacks?
They said
that doesn't jive.
I heard one of them on a show today said, comparing the quarterback rooms between Baylor and Auburn, like Auburn's clearly got the advantage quarterback room. I was like,
because they're going to play
Robinson's really good. I mean,
because they're going to play three of them,
and also
an advantage.
Do we really think that Ashton Daniels guy's good? That came from Stanford. Stanford sucked. Do we know if Deuce Knight's any good yet? We don't. I mean, anyway.
Sawyer Robertson, I think, is first or second in the nation in terms of quarterbacks returning QBR rating. He's number 1 or 2 in the whole country.
I can't explain it. I'm just telling you. I've got Auburn derangement syndrome. I admit it wholeheartedly. However, I will say this. Everything screams Auburn blowout to me. But I'm going to say Auburn wins this game 31-27. I know that's not a blowout. But I think Auburn wins this game. I'm 100% pulling for Baylor, but I think Auburn wins this game.
I think Auburn wins the game too. I'll go a little lower scoring because I think I'm curious. I love Auburn's receiver core. I'm sold very little on Auburn's offense outside of that receiving core that belongs in the NFL. I like those receivers to make a play or two at the end that makes the difference in a close game throughout. And either Singleton or Cam Coleman or Malcolm Sims, somebody out there makes a play at the end, and Auburn wins 21-19.
Now I'm going to say this. Malcolm Simmons, again, from BRHS, where Sedarian Morgan plays, and he'll be playing. Well, they played last night by the time you're watching this. So, anywho, Eric Singleton, really good, but he's banged up, and he's going to give it a go, but he's not 100%. So we both agree Auburn there. Syracuse, Tennessee. Man, I was all over Syracuse. If you watched the Jake Crane show we did the other day, and Jake Crane was like, "Well, you've been touched in the head." So I'm now going Tennessee wins this game by 10.
I'll tell you this: I've felt all summer, even without Nico, that this is a Tennessee win. I don't think Syracuse is good enough offensively and defensively. They did lose a lot off last year's team, though. Fran Brown is definitely increasing viability, and I like Angeli, the quarterback there that came from Notre Dame. This is going to be close. I do think it's going to be close. I think Tennessee pulls it out, but it's close. I'll say Tennessee 27-24, and that's a great way to say that name because I would order that dish if I'm in a restaurant.
All right. Let's speed through these a little more.
Give me the Angeli, and the guy's like, "This is a Wendy's, sir."
Sir, this is a Wendy's. All right, we're going to speed through the rest of these SEC. Texas, Ohio State. I hate to speed through it. I'm going to take the fight in Julian Sayans, and begrudgingly.
I've picked Texas to win the SEC, Texas to win the national championship, and Arch to win the Heisman. So I can't pick anyone but Texas. But boy, it's so Jimmy if Ohio State wins this game by 17, and my entire year's predictions are just flushed before Alabama has even played. That would be so on brand for me.
It's a lot like when I picked Michigan State to win the NCAA basketball tournament. They lost to Middle Tennessee in like the first game of the whole tournament or something. I was like, I'm done. I mean, all right, Mississippi State, Southern Miss. I'm going to tell you something. They got Southern Miss plus 13. I'm tempted to pick Southern Miss here. I have no idea what Southern Miss has. I am that pessimistic about Mississippi State. I'll go Mississippi State closer than the experts think.
Yeah, Mississippi State wins the game. I'm not going to be surprised if it's kind of close. I'm a believer in Charles Huff, the new Southern Miss coach. He'll build a fairly good program there. Hard to believe he could do it overnight. But gosh, I just think Mississippi State's in for another long year. But then they'll be pretty good next year, I think. Or by pretty good, I mean maybe 6 wins next year, maybe.
No.
Okay.
Then we're going to speed through these for real now. Toledo, Kentucky. Crane sold me on Toledo. Take Toledo. Take the points. Toledo wins outright.
Toledo wins outright. They're a very good team, and Kentucky's a mess like Mississippi State. I'll be impressed with Kentucky if they win the game.
Georgia, Marshall. For some reason, Marshall's talking crap. Bad news Bears. That's going to be Georgia in a rout.
Georgia absolutely takes them to Pound Town and Dog Town, beat down. Because people have disrespected
you said trunk in the last episode. You got pound on this.
Well, we started hawking all this ED medicine on the show.
All right.
Georgia huge because no one's been disrespected more than Georgia all summer, in my opinion. I know they've been in everybody's top 5. Still, they're the SEC champs. It's Kirby. Georgia by a million.
All right. We won't even talk about Mississippi State. I mean, Mississippi wins over Georgia State. Of course, we both agree. Texas A&M wins. We agree. Then we got to get to LSU and Clemson. Excuse me. No, let's do South Carolina. Let's do LSU Clemson. We should spend more time on it. We don't have it. So I say Clemson wins this game, and I think Clemson's going to win by double digits. How about that?
Clemson in a real close one. Love the quarterback matchup. All 32 NFL teams will be watching Nussmeier versus Klubnik. I think Klubnik wins. A group too few people are talking about are Clemson's wide receivers. They'll make a play. Antonio Williams, that crew, very good Clemson wideouts. Clemson by less than 1 score.
And finally, in the SEC, Virginia Tech and South Kakalaki. Look, I would love to say this is going to be a good game. I don't think it will. I think South Carolina wins and probably wins big. They're 7.5-point favorite. I think they cover.
Yeah, I want to say Virginia Tech here to cover because I do think South Carolina is overrated per all the summer talk. And I want to say South Carolina's been overrated. Told y'all. But last year, Virginia Tech just wasn't impressive, even playing Vandy early. I think Virginia Tech's not good enough, but at some point, South Carolina is going to look overrated. They may not look that way Sunday.
No, I agree with that. So when we come back, there's not really any more good national games. I mean, we may bring up a couple, but we're going to go back to Bama, Florida State for just a second. But I'm going to tell you about Upside. I've already told you I got the app. I love it. I've used it a lot. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to pull up the app right now. I'm telling you, I'm looking at my phone. I'm not kidding with you. I just pulled it up. I've had the Upside app for like, I don't know exactly, maybe a year and a half, something like that. And I think it'll tell me my lifetime earnings. I was looking for it and it won't, but that's okay. I know that it's over $500.
500?
Yeah, for my lifetime.
$500.
I've had it for maybe 2 years.
I would come close to buying my football season beer for a month.
I'm telling you, but isn't that? I mean, that's pretty good for just look at this. My lifetime earnings. I'm going to show. Can you see that? It's $750.87. That's my lifetime earnings. That's not bad.
That is amazing.
I don't know how many. I mean, I think I've had it 2 years or so, and I did it before they started sponsoring us. Maybe they started sponsoring because of me. I don't know, but I'm just telling you that. Like $750 over 2 years. No, it's not. I'm not getting rich, but I mean, that's not bad. And it's free and there's nothing to it. You need to go download the free Upside app right now. Use promo code football for 25 cents per gallon bonus. And what it does, like you go here and if I wanted to fill up, I mean, I'm going to tell you how to do this. I'm not even using the live read, y'all. I'm telling you, like there's a Circle K near me and you just go and you hit claim. And you say, okay, what do I get per gallon? Well, at this particular Circle K, it's only 2 cents per gallon right now. Okay. It's not a lot. Again, it just adds up over time. And if you use promo code football, you get an extra 25 cents per gallon. So all of a sudden it'll jump on your first use of this app to 27 cents per gallon. Get you 10 gallons, get you $2.70 back. You can cash out. Once you get to $15, you can cash out. Now, that's for PayPal. I think you can cash out at any number for like Amazon gift card or whatever. And again, it just adds up over time. I'm not telling you you're going to get rich. I'm telling you you're going to be happy after a couple of years. If somebody gives you $750, like here's $750, you take it. I don't want it. Pretty nice stuff. Go to Upside, download that app, use promo code football. Listen to Luke. Jimmy Stein guarantee.
It is like paying you for pumping gas. It's like we're all literally working at the service station. You get paid for pumping the gas.
They should be paid.
You remember those? Because were you a kid?
I remember. Look, I was in Ellick City.
Stations?
Yeah, we were in Ellick City, and I'm talking about they clean the windshields. They check the oil every time. I mean, like nobody does that anymore. Nobody even checks their oil anymore because everybody's got a cyber truck.
I went to one when I was a kid that would kind of sell beer to minors. I mean, I literally would like full tank and case of Miller Lite, and you'd say it like that because I was 18 and looked 11, and they'd be right back. Here's your case of beer, sir.
Here's your case of Mr. Stein. All right, so
Mr. McLovin.
Let's go back to the Florida State game for a second. Is there anything we haven't said about Florida State that worries you? We talked about Deuce Robinson on the podcast yesterday. We talked about Squirrel White. Look, I think both those guys are really nice receivers. I'm going to be honest, and I don't want to offend a Florida State guy. I don't know that I would trade. I know I wouldn't trade Hollywood. I know I wouldn't trade Jeremy. I don't think I'd trade Isaiah Horton. I'm not 100% sure I'd trade Rico Scott for any of those two guys, and they're their main two guys. What do you think?
I know for sure I would not trade Ryan or Jeremy for either one of those two, and I probably wouldn't trade Zay Horton or Rico for those two. But that's where it starts getting a little. Because, I mean, one thing, Squirrel and Deuce Robinson, for say, those guys aren't great. Well, they're proven. I mean, they're proven at this level. They're proven to be good players that were worth quite a bit of the portal. So they're good. I'll tell you one spot where they're better than us, and partly due to injury. Their best players are nose guard, and Alabama lost there. So, yeah, they'll be better than Alabama at nose guard, but they're going to be better than everybody they played at nose guard all year. That got guys of potential first-round pick. They haven't played.
But our center is potential first-team All-American.
Great point. I mean, we'll do a better job with him than most teams because of how good Parker Brailsford is. My guess is that's just a situation on Saturday where Darrell Jackson will get some wins and Parker's going to get some wins. Just a really good matchup. If you're an NFL scout coming to this game, that's probably the matchup that you're like, wow, we're going to watch this battle in the middle. That's pretty good. And elsewhere, Florida State's got so many of these senior transfers, several of them trying to prove themselves. That's why senior transfers go somewhere else. They want to play on a bigger stage, get a bigger role, audition for the NFL. So a lot of Florida State seniors will draw some level of NFL scouts, but let's not kid anybody here. Alabama's got as many NFL prospects as anybody playing college football this year. Penn State, Alabama, Georgia. I mean, those are the teams that have a lot. Clemson, a lot of NFL guys on, and that's who they're coming to see.
Yep, and let's also give a programming note that I'm going to the Florida State game. I hope to see any of you there that are going to be there. Feel free to reach out and tell me how awesome I am, or tell me how much you hate me. I'm fine with either way. I just want to be noticed.
He's going to be the tall guy in the rain jacket.
That is true. No, probably the tall guy without a rain jacket. I'm not big on umbrellas and things.
You probably can't bring an umbrella in the stadium. Man, the problem with the rain jackets in September is I remember wearing them in Bryant-Denny in the September games. God, it gets hot.
It gets hot, yeah.
I remember taking them off before and going, I'm taking the rain over the sweat box.
I've said this story before. And first of all, I wanted to say, we plan on doing a post-game show, even though I'm at the stadium. Our buddy Zach Blackerby is going to help set this up for us. So hopefully we'll make this work. But I went to the Georgia game in 2015 in Athens, raining like cats and dogs. I mean, Forrest Gump rain, sideways, up from the ground, everything. And I remember, I've told this story before, but I was sitting next to some Georgia fans. They were just getting dunked on. It was a family, two sons and a wife, and the husband was just sitting there and he was miserable because we were beating the crap out of them.
2015?
It was 15. Yeah, we won 38-3.
Big time.
30-10.
Big time Coker game. Yeah.
So, I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick had a block punt for a touchdown. Derrick Henry, that sort of kicked off his whole thing. Anyway, the wife looked at the husband and was just glaring at him. It was the third quarter, and it was just going to be a butt kicking. And the kids finally said, "Daddy, can we go home?" And the dad said, "Son, the players are here, so we're here." And I thought to myself, they're scholarshiply obligated to be here.
They don't
You
have
can
a choice.
leave at any time, and nobody will strip you of your diploma or of your tuition. You can leave right now. And the wife rolled her. I'll never forget the way the wife looked. She was good looking. The way she rolled her eyes at that moment was like, I can't believe I married this jackass.
Yeah, this was in my old last job. That's a woman that was going to end up in my office on Monday morning.
All right, that's going to do it for today's podcast. We'll be back very soon with more post game. Oh man, this post game, I can't wait. So, all right, roll tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.